Venetian and a beautiful piece of music they titled J. I don't know what that means in Lamsa, but I guess it's something really interesting. That piece of music has brought the time to 27 minutes past 11 here in the studio of APEX1RADIO in Bamenda and Yaoundé. It's exactly 5:28. We'll be speaking with Wanchia Cynthia and Commy Mussa, who um, uh, coming on the airwaves to talk about the Digital Literacy Contest, which should be underway now. And we'll get to know more about that if you are just joining us. This is Apex One Radio. This is Fiesta, the 190th edition of the show. So let me check my panel. I see Commy Mussa is ready. Let's find out if Cynthia is as well at exactly 25 minutes or 28 minutes past 11 here in the studio of Apex One Radio. Wanchia, welcome to the program. Are you ready?
Ok, CEO, tu vas rester encore, s'il te plaît, pour remettre un gros
Okay,
mix.
Cynthia is not ready yet. Perhaps we will get to Commy Musa and find out if she's ready. I guess she is. She not joins us from Yaoundé, live on the show. Commy Musa, welcome to the program.
Hi, NS. Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I am doing great. I guess we haven't been on this show this year, so I should say Happy New Year.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you too.
Great. So, how has 2022 been so far, as far as Sister Speak is concerned?
We started off 2022 on a very good note.
Mhm.
I would say we stepped in running into the new year because we had some projects that we initiated at the close of 2021,
Mhm.
and so when we got into 2022, we already had our tasks lined up, and it's been good so far.
Mhm.
And it's been, we've been seeing a lot of impact.
Mhm.
So far, so good.
So far, so good with Sister Speak 237. I don't want to assume that everyone listening to us at this moment knows about Sister Speak 237. So, briefly, just remind us of what Sister Speak 237 does.
So there are three things that make up Sisterspeak 237.
Mhm.
237 stands for Cameroon.
Mhm.
And of course, sister stands for every woman,
Mhm.
irrespective of their age, their religion, their orientation, their
Mhm.
academic qualifications, and speak is for voice and agency. So
Okay.
Sister Speak 237 is a local NGO in Cameroon, and
Mhm.
our mandate, our mission is to empower women
Mhm.
and other minority groups to
Mhm.
be able to tell their own stories. We equip them with the tools and skills needed for them to
Mhm.
articulate their needs, to fight for their causes, and of course, to replicate these lessons in their communities. So we're all about voice, we're all
Mhm.
about agency, we're all about sustainable development, especially for minority groups.
Mhm. And talking about voice, are you saying that previously women didn't have a voice, or they had one and that voice wasn't just loud enough?
Oh, the women in Cameroon have their voice. They've always had the voice, but
Mhm.
the voice, their voices have not been loud in
Mhm.
some spaces, and their voices have not been loud enough in some of the spaces where they were speaking up. So Sister Speak
Mhm.
is acknowledging this voice because we don't give voice to these women. We acknowledge their voices, we
Mhm.
amplify their voices, and we train them on how to access certain spaces to make
Mhm.
their voices heard.
Mhm. And does it take being assertive to put this voice out there? Otherwise, why were women lagging back? Why were they sitting back and not coming out?
Again, like I said, Sister Speak is not just about the women, it's about any person that is a minority. When you're in a
Okay.
space where you're viewed as small,
Mhm.
there is intimidation, there is a fear to speak up, especially if you're speaking up about something that is not popular mainstream. So it's the fear of speaking up, but also the implications of speaking up. That's why I spoke about voice and agency. It's
Okay.
not just women standing up to say, oh, in this community, we don't want our daughters to get married as minors. You know, to speak up against child marriage is one thing, but to speak up against child marriage in a community where it is practiced, it's even dangerous. So we're looking at how do you speak up and have your voice count and not lose your life, you know. So
Okay.
it's voice, it's agency. And we're also training people. Just having a voice is not enough. Not
Okay.
everyone can speak on TV, for example. Not everyone can run a campaign on social media. Not everyone can speak in parliament. So they
Right.
have a voice, but they need the appropriate skills and the appropriate tools to use their voices in a way that there is an impact, a desired impact. Yeah.
Right. So even if you have a voice, you need the tools to speak in a way that would be impactful. Now joining the founder of Sisterspeak237 is one of the leaders of that
I hope you
organization,
know that.
who does both as a
If you have
journalist.
a you need
Wanchia
to collect
Cynthia. Let me find out if she's joining us.
please
Cynthia, are you there?
All right. So ask Shelly and colleagues.
Hi, Cynthia. Welcome to the program. Okay, sorry,
and
we've lost her. We'll definitely come back to Cynthia. She's still getting set to reach us. Now, Commy Mussa, Sisterspeak237 has just launched what they call the Digital Literacy Contest. Digital Literacy Contest.
Yeah.
Was this or has this always been a project within the organization? I'm talking about contests because before we had this contest, we had other contests. We spoke about storytelling contests some time ago.
Yeah.
So contests. Is it part of what you do?
So the digital literacy contest is new. We've always done media and digital literacy trainings, but we use the contest this time because we're engaging young people. That our digital literacy project actually targets young people in the southwest region of Cameroon. You know, it's one of the regions where we have an ongoing armed conflict, and wherever there is conflict, there's bound to be chaos, there's bound to be misinformation. And this misinformation can be as dangerous as the war itself. And so we had a training with students in Boya. And after our training, we instituted this to challenge them because, you know, students like to win and there's the energy that this brings, you know, to bear. So the contest is just challenging these students to replicate the lessons that they learned using art and other forms that may be appealing to their peers.
Okay, let's find out if the lead of this project is now joining us. Wanchia Cynthia, I can see you. Welcome to the program. You'll have to unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Oh, all right.
Welcome to the program, Cynthia. How are you today?
I'm doing okay, Ernest. Thank you very much, and special greetings to Comfort Musa. And it is an honor to be back on the show. It's been a while.
Beautiful. Just before you join us, Commy Mussa and I were talking about women and people of minority groups using their voices, you know, to create an impact. I just want to find out from you before we go back to the digital literacy contest, how women in the media in your community are doing. How would you assess the progress so far? Do you think women are now making it big in the media space?
Thank you very much, Ernest. I think I will say that we have more women in the media. We have more women who are not just in the media, but who are taking up challenging roles, challenging positions in newsrooms, programming, corporate communication, heading media units of institutions, equally we have more women. I have an interest in sports, and one thing I observed, especially with the African nations cup that just ended, is that we have more women too who have gotten into sports reporting and into sports analysis. So I think I'll say that women have gotten more involved in the media and are taking up more of these challenging roles, challenging in the sense that many would thought some positions were only could be better handled by men. We have more female station managers in Bamenda, both private as well as the lone state media, that's CRTV, although she just recently went on retirement, but she headed that service for a long time. So we have more women who are taking up these positions within the media.
Great. It's true that more women are coming into the sector and occupying those positions that were previously reserved for the men. But let us talk about quality as well. Are they, putting, are they putting forth quality work, per se in these positions?
Yes, of course, they are, Ernest. I've followed lots of them very keenly on radio during the African Nations Cup, and I must say that I was amazed with the job that most of them do, and I can equally tell you that most of those radio stations that are headed by women, you can see the quality of their work in the quality of programs, that those radio stations produce, the quality of their newscast, the newscast as well as the quality of the reports that are done by most of these women. If you happen to find yourself within the week attending about 2, 3, 4 coverages, if you want to look at the proportion of men to women who are on the field covering these stories daily, then you agree with me that in terms of the number and in terms of quality, there's been an improvement, especially seeing these women operating within the context we find ourselves in the Northwest region at the moment, the crisis as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. The women are doing well for themselves.
Beautiful. Let's talk about the Digital Literacy Contest. Sisterspeak237 is currently organizing, and you are the lead of this project. First things first, why 2022? Do you have the impression that at this point everyone has to be digitally literate?
Yes, I think so. The world it's quite evolving. Everything is going digital. It has come with its advantages as well as it has come with its disadvantages. The high rate of misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, and fake news are the downsides or the bad sides of what has come with digitalism. And I feel that this project or this contest that Sisterspeak237 it's currently running as part of an activity of its one of its projects promoting media literacy, focuses in the Southwest region and funded by the US embassy. It's really timely because there's so much hate speech out there. There's so much fake news that it's out there. It exposed the challenge. Many people are finding it difficult to believe what is true from what it's false, and it has even further made our job as journalists very complicated, because almost everyone with a phone, anyone who is online, it's now more into citizen journalism.
Let me turn back to Commy Mussa and find this out. Now, the reason why there is a lot of fake news out there, hate speech, is also because people are digitally literate. Everyone can manipulate their device and, put up all sort of social media memes and so on. Don't you think there is a danger by training these people to become even more digitally literate? Don't you think that by becoming digitally literate, you are also paving the way for more of these fake news and hate speech you are trying to fight against?
The goal of our project is media and digital literacy with a focus on fighting fake news
Mhm.
and misinformation. So we've been very specific in our orientation,
Mhm.
and like I said, it's the primary audience was youths in the southwest region of Cameroon, where we have an ongoing armed conflict. And we spent a lot of time with experts training these youths how to identify fake news
Mhm.
and what to do when you get information that you're not sure of. That's why our campaign is running with the tag Talk True.
Mhm.
So we do not want to contribute to misinformation. So our training and our project challenges young people to hashtag talk true, which is speak the truth,
Mhm.
and hashtag pepper the truth. Is when we say amongst youth in Cameroon, when you say pepper them or pepper something, it means
Mhm.
it's just lingo for amplify it, you know.
Okay.
So pepper the truth is amplify the truth. When you hear something that is true, amplify it and think before you click is a call and challenge to young people to verify before sharing. So we
Mhm.
know that equipping them and placing a focus on identifying and verifying information before they share and being responsible online. We know that by doing this, we will contribute our own bit, you know, to
Mhm.
stemming the spread of misinformation and hate speech, which actually has online and offline consequences. You know,
Mhm.
the fact that everyone has a phone and can install an app, maybe WhatsApp or Facebook, or forward pictures and videos when they get it, does not mean they are really digitally literate per se. There's still a lot of ignorance that's going on. Too many people
Okay.
are deceived. I mean, it's not just the armed conflict. We have COVID. Now we have cholera outbreak and all of that. And, you know, people just sit at home and put out information that says if you drink 3 glasses of salt, for example, you could be cured of such and such an illness. And, you know, once
Mhm.
people get it, they forward, sometimes they're forwarding it with a good intention to help, you know, but that's information that can destroy the health of people. And we're challenging Cameroonians to not just forward as received. We're helping them to
Mhm.
gain tools on how do you verify information when you get it, to know if it's
Mm.
true. Is this worth sharing or worth deleting? So we are very intentional about stemming the spread of misinformation, and we're very intentional about having more responsible digital citizens.
Mm. Cynthia, part of this idea of fake news and misinformation is also a source of income to perpetrators. We've seen a lot of people on social media who are now making, you know, money from just you know, sharing any kind of stuff on social media because they have huge following. Now, how are you going to fight this when it is fast becoming not only a way of life but a way of livelihood?
I think it's one of the reasons why we have the digital contest ongoing. I think one of the ways that that's one of the ways that we want to fight. One of the ways we want to fight this. We just want to continue raising awareness on the impact or consequences of spreading fake news, misinformation, and how to spot one, how to
Mhm.
verify your sources, equally how to verify if that information it's true, if it's fake, it's through trainings or contests like what we are doing, with this particular contest, I think that would definitely be one of the ways that we are fighting against this. I'm sure Comfort already talked about the hashtags that are guiding this campaign. Talk true, think before you click, better them with the truth. I mean, we just have to keep constantly reminding people, before you like, before you share, before you comment on something, you need to be certain that it's true. You need to even ask yourself those questions. Why am I sharing this? Why am I liking this? Why am I making a comment on this? Unfortunately, just like you rightly indicated, and it's something that has eaten deep into society. But we just get fold our arms and say, okay, this whole thing has gone bad. There's just nothing we can do. If we are doing this and others too are emulating and doing the same things, I think it's going to be one of the ways in which we can fight this phenomenon.
I'm talking about information verification. You and I know that it will be much easier for us who are mainstream journalists, because we have access to sources of information. How easy would that be for citizen journalists who virtually really don't have access to sources of information? Do you think verifying information before posting it on social media would be that easy?
Yes, it could still be, it could be challenging. It's challenging, of course, Ernest. But I think, like I said, there are just other ways that we could go about this. It doesn't just end on social media. We're taking engagement even with traditional media, especially with print, as well as radio. They are carrying along these messages. They are carrying along the trend with the campaign that Sisterspeak it's currently doing or implementing or carrying out, and it could just be one of the ways to reach out to these persons.
Mhm. Commy Mussa, tell us how you got the United States Embassy in Cameroon involved in this project, and what was the embassy's reaction when you put this idea to them?
So the U.S. Embassy in Cameroon, from time to time, issue these calls for proposals for interested local organizations to apply for grants, and we applied for this grant, and we were selected for it. The grants are usually announced on their website. It's information in the public domain, and there was a call, and we sent in a proposal. We were selected, and the U.S. Embassy is supporting us for this project. I think it resonated with some of their core values. They are very keen on digital and media literacy. They have courses on their sites, yearly sites that are pushing for this, and so. And another thing is that the U.S. Embassy, I had benefited from a program at the U.S. Embassy called the International Visitors Leadership Program that took me to the United States to see how young people in the U.S., are engaging in civic activities. It was actually American youth inspiring civic participation, and part of my commitment when I came back was to replicate some of these lessons and encourage youth in Cameroon. So, doing this for me is part of my IVLP alumni commitment, but also Sisterspeak as an organization. We saw this call, we were interested, and the U.S. Embassy has partnered with us, not just providing the grants to make this happen, but also giving us access to some resources that we used during the training. So that's how we got them involved. And without their support, we would not have been able to train the youths and carry on this competition, and make prizes and continue with sensitization on traditional media and even online media, like Cynthia indicated earlier.
Okay, Cynthia, how many contestants do you have taking part in this contest so far? Okay, I guess Cynthia will join us in a short while, but let me just put that question to Commy Mussa. So, from what groups are the contestants coming? I know they are youths, but specifically, are they youths of, a particular group? And how many contestants do we have so far?
We're looking at youth 30 and below, at 18 to 30, and
Okay,
our training in Boya targeted 46 youths.
okay.
So the January edition was open to these 46 youths, and their challenge was, you have received the training. How
Mhm.
do you pass on this message to your peers?
Okay.
What are you going to do? Because we know that young people, if you go online and you're giving them a lecture on how to fact check information before sharing, you may not get them. So
Mhm.
we asked this 46 youths, come up with creative ways of sharing the lessons you've learned with your classmates, with your
Mhm.
friends in the quarters. It could be a song, it could be artwork, it could be a short comedy skit, nothing expensive, just done with your phone.
Mhm.
And so the first contest we targeted these 46 youths. They some of them submitted their entries, and we put it on our Sisterspeak pages and on our website.
Mhm.
And the challenge was to get the engagement. How many people were viewing this? How many people were commenting about it and
Right.
having conversations around it? And
Mhm.
then we got famed actress Ndamo Damaris and artist Bobo Linox to
Mhm.
rate. So 50% was online engagement, and
Mhm.
another 50% was the artist Bobo
Mhm.
Linox and Damaris rating, and that's how we
Mhm.
got the winners. And
Mhm.
just to say that um, we've had well over 10,000 engagements online, because we
Okay.
also got Auntie Felicia, a comedian,
Mhm.
involved in this to amplify the message and the call around the contest. So
Right.
that was it for January. We had a winner. Now
Mhm.
in February, it has extended beyond just the 46 youths that we trained, because of the
Mhm.
ripple effect, and many other youths are getting this message. So we are
Mhm.
getting entries even from youths who did not participate in the initial workshop, but throughout January have learned the lessons and are keen on
Mhm.
replicating. And this will
Mhm.
continue till April. We're going to have a contest each month, and the
Okay.
winners, of course, get cash prize from us. They get amplifications of the artwork that wins. Will be amplified on local media and online spaces, just so that we promote their works, and then we get the message out to as many youths as possible.
Mhm. So, in the first edition, which took place, is it last month or this month?
January was the first edition, and we are
January.
now in February
Okay. So,
edition.
in January, did you have all 48 contestants participating?
No. So all 46 did not submit entries.
Okay.
We had entries, some from people who did not participate in the initial workshop, but we were limiting it to
Mhm.
the initial workshop participants. We
Mhm.
selected four final entries, and the voting
Mhm.
was done on this four. And it's just to let you know that the population we're working with is very diverse. So we have youths
Okay.
that are artists studying arts. We have youths that are studying the sciences. We
Mhm.
have youths that are nurses,
Mhm.
nursing students. We also have youths that are youths with disabilities, different types of disabilities. We have youths with hearing impairments and speech
Mhm.
impairments, and they are sending it entries in sign language. So it's truly inclusive, and we're making sure that we leave no youth
Mhm.
behind.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And
just that we're getting
mhm.
entries from all these groups of youths.
And do their backgrounds reflect their their works?
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of it, because we told these youth, go back to your community and
Mhm.
use the language and the tools that your friends, your classmates will understand.
Mhm.
So we had some entries that was just artwork, painting,
Okay.
drawings.
Mhm.
That's a language that will appeal to a particular group of youth. We also had dramas, we had short skits done in different ways with different video animations. And
Right.
because we understand that the youth population is not a homogeneous group,
Mhm.
youths do not all like one thing, they have different preferences. And
Right.
so this variety in the entries,
Mhm.
we're happy that it's going to appeal to different people, and different youths are going to learn these lessons in their own ways. in formats and codes that appeal to them.
Generally, what was the nature of the feedback from the audience? Positive, negative?
Amazing, amazing. You know, when we had Auntie Felicia to do the short comedy skit
Mm-hmm.
about it on her page alone, that first week, she had over 180 shares, over 500 comments, you know, people
Mm-hmm.
relating with the message, laughing, you know, and saying, but this is really true, we need to fact check. And that's what we wanted. We wanted people to
Mm-hmm.
really take a minute and think about the implications
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, just sharing information without verifying. And then the entries that we had also had thousands and thousands of likes and views and shares and engagement. And then
Mm-hmm.
it spilled over, because then we started having traditional media organizations reaching out to us to say something is going on and we want to be part. We got
Right.
CRTV, we got even radio stations in Bamenda. They were all coming to say, can we talk about this? Can we
Mm-hmm.
also, you know, get the winners or contestants, you know, to talk about it to youth in our communities? And so I
Mm-hmm.
would say it's been overwhelmingly positive.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to stop here, because we think that there has to be a repetition. We hear
Right.
and we forget. And you
Mm-hmm.
know, when you get a message, sometimes in the panic you forward without thinking. And so this
Mm-hmm.
message needs to be repeated and repeated over and over, so it
Mm-hmm.
sticks. And so we're riding with it till April.
Okay. Commy Mussa is her name, founder of Sisterspeak237, which is organizing a contest on digital literacy. They've had the first edition, which took place in January, and we are told that the feedback was really tremendous. There's an ongoing one, and the contest will continue till April of this year. Then they would sit back and evaluate progress, and if the need arises, the contest will definitely continue. Now, Commy Mussa, do you have the impression that so far this contest has created an indelible impact on the social media space?
I think it has.
Mm-hmm.
Judging by the numbers, I think it has. Judging by the content that we have generated, you know, on our page in January, we had artwork, we had a painting
Mm-hmm.
with a message around fake news and misinformation. We had 3 comedy skits. You
Mm-hmm.
know, these youths took their time, sat down, wrote out this a short plays, acted, edited, you know, and put it out there. That was a lot of commitment. And so even just that process of producing this, I bet you the information has stuck with them probably forever. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, having their friends watch and comment and share has been, I think that we have really succeeded in that way, judging by the numbers, judging by the impact, judging by the feedback, and
Mm-hmm.
judging by the interest that it has generated. You know, in our inbox, we have other youths asking us, how can we join? What can we do to be part?
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
traditional media outlets asking us, what can we do to be part? I even had someone who is a researcher say
Mm-hmm.
he's really looking keenly, because he wants to add our practice, you know, to part of
Mm-hmm.
his research on what he's doing around digital literacy. So I think we are comfortable with the progress made so far. It
Mm-hmm.
checks the boxes on the objectives that we set out in the beginning, but we hope to do even more. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we hope to go beyond the mark that we set for ourselves by the time we get to April and beyond.
Sisterspeak237 is comfortable with the progress so far with the digital literacy contest. We're speaking with its founder, Commy Mussa, and the project lead of that contest, Wanchia Cynthia, who now joins me again. Cynthia, Commy Mussa just told me that so far you've had some winners in the contest. I would like to find out from you, how have these winners and those who participated in the first edition, you know, been finding this exercise? Is this something they enjoyed doing and would even like to continuously be part of?
Yes, again, NS, it may interest you to know that the winner of the first edition, that was a Pen Boy, who won in the month of January. He expressed interest again
Okay.
when we launched that of the February session,
Mhm.
and of course, in our fairness. We think that others should have an opportunity. I'm not saying that we told him not to contest, but at least we want to see others take on this. The announcement that came with the February contest, there were just too many students, especially social media influencers, as well as bloggers, spoken word artists who had or who heard about the contest and who heard about this, because it's actually a new thing that Sister Speak has adopted. I mean, we haven't really seen any campaign on social media insist on the use of arts, to send across this message. And so it's the very first time, and it's the very Sister Speak. It should be one of the first persons using or adopting this particular mode of wanting to fight or combat misinformation, hate speech, as well as this media literacy. So there are lots of persons who have taken interest in it, and we are looking forward to some exciting entries that we have for this month of February, and we still have 2 other months, like Comfort rightly talked about it, the month of March and the month of April. We actually had four entries during the January session, and all 4 entries were exceptionally done. I mean, those of them who were behind it were so creative, they were so engaging. Their messages were were so clear. But unfortunately, since the contest only limits us to a winner, we couldn't declare all four of them winners, and we had to work with that. That was graded at the highest, and the grading it's done in this way. We have judges who judge 50%, and then the social media engagement counts as 50%. So the winner of the January session actually scored 90 on 100, which wasn't very different from second position that scored 70, and then there was 60 for the third and the fourth positions. So they were all just winners, but Penboy, who was the winner, actually carried the day based on the scores that were given to him by the judges, and equally the engagement on social media.
And tell us what the winner backed home as prize.
We gave them a cash prize. I think we are not allowed to name. I'll just like to
That's
say that
fine.
we encourage them. We gave them
Um,
we gave them
Airtime.
we,
So the
yes,
project
airtime. Yes, let's
airtime.
put it in that way. Airtime.
Okay,
Yes, we
beautiful.
gave we provided them with airtime, and we equally gave them visibility because of the engagement that we took with other media organs, with bloggers, as well as print media, even on radio. There's just so much visibility. What's given to them. So they're just people who, out of Boya, if you have not heard about this guy before or how talented he was, it is through this contest that many have happened, or many have heard the name and they've known exactly what it is that he can do.
Beautiful.
Um, uh, NS, if we
Yes.
may add, the prize that we're giving to the winner is to help them spread the message, because the challenge is we trained them to be trainers. So they have to share this message to their classmates and age mates and all of that. So like Cynthia said, the prize is to help them amplify. So it's a voucher for internet for a month, which is $50. Yes, and
Beautiful.
then we took the commitment, like Sin said, to promote them on local media. I think Penboy wrote that he was overwhelmed by How
Yeah.
many newspapers and media organs contacted him to promote his work? He's an artist. So we did the branding, we contacted the media houses, we did the placements and all of that for him. And then he got the $50 voucher for internet time to spread his art.
Beautiful. Now, just two things, and we'll be rounding off. First is both of you are from the media and communication background. Tell me, what does this contest mean to you and to your organization?
Well, to me personally, Ennis, first, as with a media and communication background, like you rightly indicated, I've I've really had this worry about how much people have challenged even information, articles or news stories that we publish or we carry on our different media outlets, and people actually question the credibility of the story, and it all it's all coming from that point where they quickly want to believe in what they've read on social media. They quickly want to relate with what they've read from someone's Facebook page, maybe someone's WhatsApp status or whatever platform they had that information on. And it has really been quite a challenge, to compete or competing with such with such fake news or such misinformation. And so to me, I feel that this is actually coming to amplify that fight, or to amplify the voices, or amplify the campaign that keeps challenging people to think before the click. Why are you sharing this information? Why are you liking this information? What does it add or reduce? What value does it add or reduce? And what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope to gain from such information? And to Sister Speak, we always just want to do things differently, like we have always done, and so we really find it fulfilling. I think Commy share in the same opinion, that we find it fulfilling that we are contributing in mitigating this spread of hate speech. We're contributing in mitigating the spread of fake news, as well as trying to combat misinformation. It's equally fulfilling for us to have seen the engagement taken by this 40 youth from youth-led civil society organizations, from the media, or from these different diverse backgrounds, taking up this as a commitment too, taking it as a duty of finding pleasure, in doing this, because most of them who were part of it, or even those who were not part of it, have actually appreciated the concept, have actually appreciated the whole idea or the whole purpose or objective of this media literacy project that is being implemented by Sisterspeak.
Commy Mussa, let me put it to you this way: you who have been, who have practiced mainstream journalism. Now, today we are almost at the beck and call of the new media, where social media has stolen the show. Do you feel as if you've lost some huge chunk of your value as a mainstream journalist? I mean, in a context where citizen journalists, now have a bigger audience, and they practically run the show, like I said.
I think that social media and all the digital platforms that we have come to add value to what we were doing. Before,
Okay.
we saw it as a threat, but now we see it as a blessing. And the mistake that many traditional journalists did was that they tried to resist or to fight
Mm-hmm.
online platforms. You know, they they didn't embrace it when it started, and so these platforms became competitions to the
Okay.
traditional media platforms. But then we need to adapt, we need to grow with the times, and so
Mm-hmm.
we are embracing it. So before, a program like this will be exclusive on just radio, but now we
Right.
have it on radio, and it's streaming live on Facebook, and
Mhm.
someone who is probably traveling on the bus from Yaoundé to Douala can watch. So
Mhm.
I think it's a blessing, and it adds value to how quickly we can get things done. You know, you can be on the field and send images straight to the TV station or to the radio station, or take
Mhm.
pictures and send straight to your editor. It has shortened our time. It's given us a wider access to sources and information, and a wider access to audiences. And also, we can interact more with members of our audience and get feedback in good time. So if
Mhm.
anything, social media is good, and it has its downsides. There's a lot of competition with unprofessional people, but that is bound to happen in any milieu. What I
Right.
think I am doing, and other forward thinking journalists are doing, is embracing it and seeing how we can use it, for our job.
Mhm. Beautiful. Cynthia, just before we go away, what should we know about the contest? So, is this open for application? And if so, what do interested contestants do? And just give us some practical information.
Well, we had a timeline for the reception of entries for the month of February. I think it
Mhm.
ends today. We
Okay.
actually had the window from the 20th right up to the 26th, but
Mhm.
it's not too late. We still have the contest still runs for 2 months. We still have the month of March, and we have the month of April. So if you are listening to us and you feel you want to still submit your entry, you still have today. It's only
Mhm.
6:13 p.m. I think the day ends by midnight. So we're
Okay.
still open. Yes, we're still open to receiving entries for this February session. But
Mhm.
if you feel that it's late, or you feel you can catch up with time, by the time we declare the winner for this month of April, we'll equally announce when the March contest is going to be launched. So you can you can just keep following us on Sisterspeak237 on Facebook, because on Facebook we always keep updates on how things are unfolding. So you still
Mhm.
have the month of March, and you still have the month of April to be part of this contest.
Okay, and I'll stay with you. If I got you well at the beginning, you said the first edition of the contest only covered Boya youths. So who is involved now? Bamenda, Yaoundé
Yes,
Douala?
just yes. It's open. It's
Okay,
it's open to youths in and out of the southwest region.
okay, beautiful. So, Commy Mussa, just before we go away, are there some people who have contributed enormously to the success of these contests whom you would like to pay tribute to? Commy, you're muted.
Oh, we would like to appreciate the U.S. Embassy. They
Mhm.
supported us to make this happen. We're grateful for them and the entire Sister Speak team. A lot goes on behind the scenes
Mhm.
that people may not be aware of, but Cynthia and I may just be the faces, but we have technicians behind the scenes, with good ideas, good devotion, and commitment to these. Want to thank Maxell and Phil and Rita. We have many Ritas in the Sister Speak team.
Mhm.
Rita and Rita, Cynthia and Cynthia, Harriet, Kenwi, and the entire team. They're working tirelessly. And of course, we really want to appreciate Ndamo Damari. She's an actress. She stayed throughout the training and she volunteered, to evaluate the scripts. Damaris and Bobo Linux, they're committed to being with us till April. We really do appreciate you. And all the radio stations, the newspaper organizations newspaper organs that reached out to promote this and to talk about the winners. We appreciate you. And of course, the youths that have decided to be part of this, to learn the lessons and teach their peers. We really appreciate. And of course, you, Ernest, thank you for having us on this show, dedicating all this time just for us to talk about digital literacy. And I really especially want to thank Cynthia. She's the project lead on this. So all of this is on her head. And I'm grateful that we have Cynthia.
Cynthia and Commy may be the faces of the contest, but this huge crew working behind the scenes relentlessly to make sure the project succeeds. Thanks to all of them. Commy Mussa and Wanchia Cynthia, I want to thank both of you. You know, it's a noble thing you are doing to change perceptions on how information should be shared, especially on the very sensitive social media is a big thing. So congrats on the great job you are doing, and thanks so much for joining us on the program today. Hopefully, we'll be back to talk about it perhaps at the end of this contest in April.
Thank you very much for having us, Ernest. We really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, and do have a fantastic rest of the weekend. This is African Fiesta, the 190th edition of the show. We're going to take a pause, have music for just 1 minute. Then, when we come back, we will be having our next guest on the show, who will definitely be running off this edition of African Fiesta on APEX1 Radio. Let's listen to music, and I will be right back with you. We are back with Venue Tina.